Hello, everybody.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Henry. Hello, Henry.
Okay, we are live on YouTube. We're going to record this for those who cannot attend the live session. And this is a paint along workshop. You're supposed to paint with me, right? Okay, let me minimize that. Okay, if you check your email, you should get some attachments. I just sent 1 minute ago, the last minute handouts. I decided to give you the references before the class. So you might want to download it for a clear view of the samples we're going to do. So check your email. We have 3 minutes to print it out if you like. It's quite large, the files. You can just paint to fit the computer paper will be fine. You can just download to your computer maybe. I'll share the handouts. Let me see.
Estamos meneando todavía los ejes para optimizar los parqueos. Y tal vez la reunión que quieren hacer es para lo de Trevio y lo de la acumulación y lo del polígono, que yo ya lo mandé, ya lo tienen y lo pueden presentar todo lo que quieran.
Ahora,
pregunta, Daniel, te habló vos para que fueras.
Sí, como me dijo,
yo
era ya que yo tenía que ir, me dijo que yo estaba trabajando en eso y sí o no. Por eso tengo dudas que temas son los que te van a tocar, porque recuerdo que ayer usted me dijo que le había mandado a él, le iba a mandar o le iba a explicar las opciones que trabajamos, pero él me dice que no recibió nada.
Okay, you can mute yourself if you like. We're not starting yet. I'm going to show you the. Okay, you can download the handout from the email I just sent you. If you didn't receive the email, check your spam folder. That's why I don't like to use email sometimes. I will upload to the website also, maybe that will help. But I'll have to do that afterwards. We only got 1 minute left. So I'm still working. I was mounting the sample painting I did to take a picture, etc. So there's a lot of preparation for the class. Believe me. Southern song. Where's the southern song? Okay. Copy. And Zoom. This is lesson 6, I believe. Okay. Okay, I still got the old picture here. I did this Grand Canyon yesterday. That's what we're going to do. Sorry for the camera shaking. I try to find the best view for you guys. Maybe we could do a little close up. Got the glare. I got closer. Is that better without the glare? How about this? clearly enough? Okay, let's make a recording first. Don't forget that. Always. All right, welcome back to Chinese brush painting class. This class focuses on the early Chinese landscape paintings of the classical period, meaning the Song and the Yuan dynasties from 7th to the 11th century. For those of you who have followed my lecture notes, have you have a chance to watch the series called The Clear and the Remote View of Mountains and Streams? Okay, you all did? That's very good. Now I'm going to give you a pop quiz to see how do you do with that. Oops, you log in from another device. Your polling session is inactive. Let me see what's wrong with that. My poll cannot come up. Okay, let me just give you a oral quiz because I had this poll set up, but it didn't work for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, who? Let me describe the question. This artist, he painted the horizontal scroll called the Pure and Clear View of Streams and Mountain, and he was regarded as the best or the most favorite artist in the period we covered by Professor James Cahill. And now I give you several names. Number 1, Ma Yuan. Number 2, Ji Ran. Maybe Victoria, can you type it for me? Ma Yuan, number 1. Number 2, Ji Ran. And then number 3, Fan Kuan. Number 4, Shi Tao. Number 5, Xia Gui. And number 6, right? Seshu. Seshu is spelled S-E-S-S-H-U. So, which one you pick? It was a Shi Tao or Xia Gui, right? Let me narrate it down. If you answered Xia Gui, you're correct. I hope most of you get that name. Because after this class, I want you to be able to answer this question. Who's your favorite artist in early Chinese landscape painting? You might have your own favorite. It could be Ji Ran, Dong Yuan, Ma Yuan, or Xia Gui. You can disagree or agree with me or Professor James Cahill, but you should, get familiarized with the Chinese masters. So not just a general conception of Chinese painting. They're all different. The northern zone characterizes the monumental landscape. Now we're into the southern zone, which is called the one corner landscape.
Henry?
Yes.
Henry, there is an echo. And
Okay, let me fix that. Okay, there should be no echo. All right, let me repeat. Did you get the quiz right? Okay, I'll do it next time. So Xia Gui was one of the 2 artists known as the Ma Xia school. Ma means Ma Yuan. He was known for his one corner landscape. So he got a nickname in the art history as one corner Ma. And the Xia Gui, on the other hand, got another name as one side, half side, 半边, half side 下. Half side means he only paints the foreground shore, and then a little bit far this remote mountains over the vast water. Usually is a expansion of a river or a lake, horizontal expansion. So also in this period, the three distance or perspective, you know, the high distance, the flat distance, and deep distance or perspective. In Northern Song Dynasty, the monumental landscapes, the whole landscape, you know, from bottom up, like the Li Tan and Fan Kuan or Guoxi, the three peaks, you know. It become more misty kind of. They call it Mi Yuan, the misty distance, or the Yu Yuan, the remote distance, or Kuo Yuan, expanded horizontal river distance. Like so basically the Southern Song after forced to the south, is the inhabitants has changed from mountain area to river side. You know, they got lakes in the city, Hangzhou, the Western Lake, and it's just like this, you know, and the Yangtze River, you know, and the tributaries of the river. So they're surrounded by rivers. The river landscape is what we are going to do today. And I better not to talk too much, I realize that. But I do think that if you don't know the motif, you know, what the intention is of Chinese painting, you really didn't, you won't never get the so-called skills. Because in literati painting, the emphasis has shifted from realism to expressionism. It's the feeling of the artist's inner self. So instead of looking outward to copy the natural majestic mountains, they turned inward to find the inner, the mind landscape, you might say. Okay, and the water is what we're going to do today, right? So to paint water, you can use a small whistle brush. Let me see. I got several this kind of liners. There could be the Gombe liner. I don't have it with me, but this one is a small red hair, but it's similar. But it has kind of two steps. One could be white or red. Is it made of soft or sheep hair, and then the stiff cord sticking out like with a narrow tip. You can just use the basic brush, basic whistle or leaf vein brush. Okay. And the ink we use is today I use this is blue ink because it's designed for light color. Light ink is considered as color, by the way, light shade or light tone. So it's supposed to be diluted to get this cool kind of, it's not really blue, it's cool kind of black. Okay. So from very dark to very light, you know, the first word qing as in clear and remote, the title of the scroll called Clear and then the remote view of a mountain and extreme. The word clear is also describe this kind of ink. It's about, if we have like a 5 shade, from very dark to dark to medium and then light. And then we have this almost clear or pure ink. We call it pure ink. 清墨, or 清墨is lighter than 淡墨, or light ink. So there, but you don't have to, like many artists teacher may suggest you to make a wheel of light, wheel of dark, and wheel. Usually this changes, from I can start from a little light and dark, dark in the beginning, but not too dark, to do the water. Let me just do an exaggerated stroke so you can see what I'm doing. I do have a gradation here, but you don't have to. So let me just load. If you draw this stroke like this, remember last time we did the pine with this kind of overlapping scheme, like a pattern. This is another pattern of, like waves. If you want, you can add thinner lines. And the point is, you need to control the pressure of the stroke. Make sure it start not with a dot. By the way, if you start with a dot, what we call the fish head, you can start from a dot, just hesitate a little bit, pause a little bit, and then kind of you can press and lift. If you keep pressing, this is the river shore or river bank, right? And so this is called a fish head. Remember, we have a kind of stroke we call fish head seeking the same food when you paint an orchid, right? So the ending part is like lifting. It's like orchid. So this is almost like an orchid leaf. If you draw 2 lines, so this is more solid. This is what we call the fish head. It's with a dot. Let me do it again, and you can vary the distance. You can have a little bit, and I think you can just do like overlapping a little bit here. And you can do another one in front of this. So this is the bank of a river stroke. And when you draw water, it's a different stroke. Okay, you can draw, first of all, it should be lighter than the bank. So this is like a medium, depends on the distance. You could be lighter or darker, closer. Okay, and another way of doing the waves is more patternized. We call it the fish net pattern. So we draw an M movement first, like combine two crests, right? This is the first one, and then we do another one right under it, but a little longer. So you do three crests from this side, and make sure this peak barely touch the previous. So this, and then end with a lifting movement, and then just do it like that. You should not do it so big. Obviously, it will not match. I just want to show you the pattern, and when we actually do it, it's much smaller. But I want to show you clearly what I'm doing. You should hold the brush like dragging the brush easier, you know, just ahead of the. So the brush handle is towards the right, with the tip towards the left. If you are left-handed, you might have to do this. Let me see if I can do it with my left hand. I'm not sure I can do it. Oh, not easy for me to do. Well, if you do not, you know, make the exact match, no problem. You can be freer actually, but not make parallel, as long as, you know, they are not too the same, you know, just vary the line a little bit, and you can omit some lines. And when you paint a patch of water, it forms a diamond. So that's why this pattern is also known as a net scarf, or scarf is like a, you know, diamond, a square, but it's not rectangular or definitely not rectangular or square. It's a diamond shape scarf, you know, the traditional Chinese women use. It's square but used as a diamond shape. So Wang Jing, that's the kind. Now I'm getting shorter and shorter. See the patch getting narrower towards me. I'm exaggerating, but this is good. You paint larger, but later, you know, when you do small, it's much easier. Maybe I just had to finish this. It's very meditative to do this until you back to the M again, right? So that shape is a kind of rectangular, right? So don't, if you make a mistake, if you just do 5 wave, you know, ripples, and then you will get a rectangular, right? If you keep this 4 or 5, you know, a same number, don't vary the length, you'll get this kind of overall shape. Okay, some of you may have a tendency to do it more like mountains. You know, this is okay. If you look at my painting, I did this because in certain weather conditions like wind, we need to indicate that with a little peak. You know, not so smooth ripples. So you can do little mountains and stack them diagonally, not horizontally. So still, the beginning and ending is with less pressure. So you don't want to do something like that, right? That's for the house, maybe not for waves. So you want to keep it flow like that. So three kind of strokes. We talked about this round cursive, this angular, this net pattern, fishnet. We call it fishnet water, net water. You can say that's a very classical way of doing this, and you can see this in auburn leaf, very famous 12 water auburn leaf by Mayan. He's the founder of this school. Oops. Okay, see this is Mayan's famous 12 waters auburn leaves, one of this 12. You can see the theme is water and a little mist. This one is like ocean waves, right? I'll hold on that. I can show you how to do this. Maybe this is the same as the clouds also, water and clouds. This finger is kind of, but in the beginning, we should learn the basic wave first. Let's see, I have another one. Yeah, this is the one we're doing today, more or less. There's some thicker lines, like I did in the beginning, and you can add the thinner ones in between if you have time. Okay, and you can wash the water with ink and color. You can use indigo and a little ink, something like that. Okay, that's Mayan. You can see the little ripple besides the boat. We call that, it's similar to this, but it just like a cloud pattern also. I think the main trick is to use the tip of the brush. I consulted my wife, Victoria. She said, when you try to make cursive line, you need to hold the brush straight so you can draw this kind of S shape. So you can practice some of this when you try to do ripples around the wake behind the boat. Hold the brush straight, something like that. Or you can combine. You can do some, and then when you pull, you can when you end the stroke, you can still pull the brush at a slant position. So when you make turns, it's easier to hold the brush straight and then slant it down. I think that's how. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed all this part. I'm sorry. Let me do it again. Okay. Okay, I don't think you can see the wake or the ripple around the boat, but let me just show you this painting quickly. So to do the boat, you use a bone stroke, right? Let me just do the boat so you can know what I'm doing. I draw a big boat so you can see. It starts from the first the near side of the deck. Okay, and this way is like a raised tail, and just. But this line is has partially under the water, so you don't want to close that. Just and then we'll do the far side of the deck, and don't close that bottom again. This is the water level here, and there's a little bit hint there. So let me I need to do this figure. The figure just make it easy, just like a rock. Not much difference than a rock, right? And, this is my poet. Okay, some details on the boat. Let me just do it fast. This is like a shelter with two poles, and this fishing pole with this rack, this ring boat we use. We call it what is called it's made of palm fiber or coconut or something like that. And then there's a hat, something like that, hanging on that pole. There's something like a little table with. Okay, so to do the wake of the boat, we need to draw first with the brush hold at a vertical position, and then you can make this cursive style. You can make little ripples and then slant down, So I use vertical position to start when I draw more, like a cursive part. This is just like the same style we did, the undulating ups and downs. You need to vary a little bit to not repeat the same. The crest should be different, and then the wake kind of expand. And this should be a little closer. I think I did the distance maybe too far, not correct, but let me just make this is too much water. And then the other side, make lost in the font interesting lines, and then you can make this bamboo shelter, something like that. That's how easy it is. Right? You can make some and just wash. So that's my boat. And the river bank we talked about. We use lighter ink but it's a little darker than the wave, right? So this kind of fish head, this is a dot start, and just drag pull the brush. You can have a little bit back and forth, to get the coarse pattern or texture. Gui does this before the line gets dry. He would start washing, but sometimes he will wait the line to dry. It depends. You can, when you have experience, you just know. If you don't want this to blur, you avoid it. This overlapping lines, something like that. So this is Mayan's little painting on. I don't know if it's this. It looks like some pot. I'm gonna do a pot on a lotus pot or vase, maybe porcelain design, maybe. Okay, this could have some island, some kind of rock, and then you can dot the vegetation after this dries. If you dot right now, it will blur. So that's why we need to wait. Timing is very important. So this is the wake, and remember we can do the water with light, clear ink. But I want to show you, so I may have to do it a little darker than I need. And you can start from middle, and then you can reduce the length, the width. Each time when you go up. Actually, it is painted horizontally, but it gives you a feel like you're going diagonal. Like I said, you can do it one scale, like a fish scale at a time. When you're familiar with this, you can do it pretty fast. And this is a very common gongbi technique, gongbi elaborated style. It goes with the blue and the green and blue style, Tang Dynasty style. I think I make the wave too flat. Actually, it should be a little higher in the near distance, and then you get flatter and flatter as you go into the recede, right? So this actually, I'm doing the opposite. I usually start from the near too far, so I'm not used to it yet. Okay, this time I did it just opposite. I usually start light, darker, and then taller in the front, and then I go back at lighter and flatter. So this is the. Is that difficult? It's fun, huh? You see, this is maybe too straight. You can have some variation, maybe, so just not exactly like a diamond. It's a relative shape of the diamond, and you can miss some or extend. So this is a broken net, I would say, broken net, not a brand new net piece of like a scarf. Okay, and here I can do lighter and flatter. You can even do it more freely because of the interference of the boat you may not see this kind of pattern. So there's dynamic of wind and boat, all that kind of thing. So just use line. The line does not exist in natural, right? So that's why we call it mind landscape. It's the symbol, like writing, like we write the water, the character 水 in seal script. It's like that. And sometimes it can write this way, you know, horizontally in the pictograph. So this is almost like a calligraphy. So they invented this in the period of Southern Song. This vocabularies of painting. Okay, one more thing I like to talk about is the distant mountain. We already have some here. If we want to push it further back, you can do a line almost like, but with a little more angle. See, this is a line for a distant mountain. Now you can extend that line by a little bit shading behind to enhance it. But notice the beginning and ending on the side. That makes the mountain feels floating in the air, in the mist, in the haze. So if you start heavy, you won't get that feel, that kind of feel. Okay, and you can use a little dark to highlight the top, and then if you want to go what we call remote, and the tiny, getting very far, to make sure it's small, right? And then you just do very light, almost just water, so getting lighter. Same kind of idea of say same stroke like we did water. Start with lower pressure and lift with lower pressure. If you imagine, this is almost like a airplane landing. Let me see what I mean. You start to land by pressing, and then you can kind of make some peaks on top of the mountain and make some valleys also. And then you kind of take off again, take off like gradually, lift the brush, taking off to land, make some peaks, and then see, I avoid to let me set some rules of the game. Okay, this is a bad example. You don't have the lift, in the beginning you got a fish head. You don't really have the lift and the press and the lift. And then when you do this far mountains, they touch each other, not have this kind of soft, and you may leave a little distance, you know. So this, just a little subtle thing makes the mountain looks floating. Instead of this, okay, try to avoid. When you make two lines, you want to vary the peak, not repeating like one triangle here, one triangle on top. So that's not good, right? So you want to vary. And starting is with no pressure, and then press down, landing, and then when you finish, taking off. Okay, that's the strokes we learned today, from the water to distant mountain and the river bank. For your practice, the next we're going to learn from some actual paintings. Okay, but before that, let me show you some masterpieces. We'll decide which one to do, actually. Oops. So today it's master is Sha Gui, our favorite, our lecturers, professor's favorite. Okay, and unfortunately, there are not many authentic Sha Gui. I think that's probably one of the reasons why his favorite graduate student didn't finish her dissertation. Only got the PhD candidacy without finishing. Like me, you know, I never finished mine either. So sometimes you're limited by the scarcity of the materials. Sometimes, you know, you are attracted by more interesting career in your life. So she became a fashion designer, right? And she married a guy who studied Mayan. What a perfect marriage, Mayan and Sha Gui. Anyway, I wish anyway, so the painting we see are mostly attributed to Sha Gui, because I think it's not a difficult style to copy, to learn, but you know, not very difficult to start, but very difficult to become spontaneous. I think so. A lot of copies are quite stiff, not so free. This is a contemporary copy of this. I would say attributed piece, or early copy. They are all copies. The one I sent you is also in the style of Sha Gui, or, well, you know, it has the signature, so it's forged painting by Sha Gui. The many. So this one is done by a contemporary young teacher in China. He did this on the fan face. I like the adaptation of the shape. Actually, Sha Gui's painting mostly on fan face. Let me show you some actual. They are practical. You know, you can use it to like that. Let me show. So this one I did, I think in one of the workshop, or I forgot, maybe 8 years ago, something like that. I changed the port on the cliff into car parked on the parking lot and viewpoint. So that's my copy, and this is the blank fan made of silk. And you can see there are also pre-mount fan shape hemp paper or rice paper, shikishi. It's like a shikishi, but soft shikishi board. We do carry them if you like. We also have this folding fan. The folding fan, actually, I can show you how to cut it. And you can see how it is mounted. And I just did this before the class, after breakfast today. Not very difficult. I cut it and mounted with the silicone mounting paper. This is the release paper on the construction paper. So if you like, I can show you how to do this. Okay. First of all, you need to get a rectangular piece of paper. This is the size like a 14 by 18, something like that, or 13.5 by 17, whatever. It's 1/6 of the 4 sheets, right? So if you have the paper ready, if you don't, you can use computer paper just to learn this procedure. Okay. You fold it into half like that. Okay. Let me show you what the folding fan is. And you can see it's about 11 or 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Well, it's about 16 of 15. This frame. Okay, so we need to fold that. Don't do this wrong. Okay, this is very important. The next step is it determines success or failure. There are 2 different sides. This is the open side. This is the folding side. Stay with this side from now on. Okay. So you keep in mind. I fold this way, not the other way, not like this. I start from. This is my sense. Imagine this is like this. My middle, the center of the circle is here. So I fold it diagonally from the lower corner to the top corner like that. Okay, and then just keep folding this. Until you reach roughly about the section like this. We won't get the smallness as a real fan, but it will be a little broader. So this is how it look like. Okay, I just keep folding this way. If you let me open it again. So rectangular. Remember, this is the center. Half. This is the diagonal, and then match this margin with this folding line, and then again. And you can do it further, but I think that's enough. Okay, then use the scissors to cut this. About you can cut it straight. You can have a little curve. Just be creative. I think you don't have to curve. Just cut it straight. It's like 90 degree, maybe more or less, you know, towards the, it's tangent, what do you call this cut. And now I roughly measure this. I think it's, you need to cut the center off. You can change it if not appropriate. So let's see. It's about 10. This is 10, so this is probably 6 of, I don't have a measure with me. So look at the sample there. I think it's not that my painting there. So it's not too narrow, so we can cut roughly about 1/3 for let me see, a little bit more than 1/3, I think. It should be the golden rule. Maybe 1/3, a little bit closer to that, and then just cut this margin off, this extra margin off. Oh, don't cut anything in the center. I think I did. Maybe. I'm sorry. I think I made a mistake. I cut the line. Well, not too bad. But my scissors touched the folding line, so I got a cut in the middle. So this one is ruined. But I do have one I did earlier, the same thing. So you might say, how can I do with this folding lines? Well, you can paint with the folding line, but you can stretch it with the tape or paperweight. Just paperweight. You can stretch it like that. You can paint. Then when you finish, and you can do this mounting. Why I mounted this blank? Because I tried to make a homemade shikishi board. So now I can just paint on this. But you don't want to do this because if you're a beginner, you don't want to waste this piece. So you can paint before you can paint on this, and then you mount it. Same thing. The way I did it is this. This is the silicone paper. I draw the pattern on the back of the silicone. You can still see the ink, the pencil lines. This is what I did. I just put this template on it, and then just draw with pencil. You can use this as template, so you don't have to fold it this again. Just use this to cut paper or something like that. And then I use scissors, or I use a blade, roller blade, cut this off. Then I mounted this rice paper with the silicone, and then iron it again, and release the paper, and then iron it again. So it become a pre-mounted fan face. Okay. If you'd like to do the rectangular, you're fine. You can use the original composition. Okay, so I'm going to do this here. I'll use a pencil to draw this stick figure. Let me just show you how do I do. I use this release paper. So it's exact. To just draw the composition, right? First of all, I need to draw a water line or horizon line. The horizon may be in the mist. So let me just draw roughly, very lightly there. And then the water, the river, there's a river, or inner, what do you call this kind of lake? Small pool of water there. And there's some bank there. And the boat, like a harbor kind of. Rock. Just some shapes of, okay. Here's the thing, this artist who used a combination of, when you paint fan face, you can bend all the horizon, you can keep the horizon leveled. I think he did this distant mountain like the original, just the horizon is flat, not banded. But in the foreground, it looks like a banded, but not really. Okay, let me see. Yeah, this water level is still level. But here, I think he banded here. So it looks like the sky or the water goes down, but this could be a slope. Let's just say this is not the leveled land, it's a slope. Let me make it that clear. You can just extend it to the size. I think it's good to keep it open. Okay, let's just do exactly what he did. And then I draw this host tree. When you have a group of trees, one is the host, which means it's a darker, thicker, and more detailed. And the guest tree is could be taller in this case, but lighter and thinner, less detailed, especially the root. So this different heights is a variation. So this is like a willow tree, downward leaves. And notice the plan where they are located. I think the original is a little different. Look at this is very clear. If I enlarge this, look at which plan is which. So you need to make clear where the plan they are. So this third tree is on the distant plan. And this zigzag linked tree is on the side of that plan. Okay, maybe at this point, like I did earlier, I'll just use stick figure to draw. You can do a small one to begin with, and then you enlarge it. But since we already have this sample, we can always do the small one. Let me show you what I would like to do. So we just do a stick, just like this is a wax paper. I cannot do it. Yeah, just use one line, something like that, and just something that you don't want to be too drafty. You have to really know each stroke should be a real stroke, brush strokes later. So this is just a illustration to show you what you should do. The more planned, the better at this point, because this is like you're serious. You're not going to ruin it, right? Because I already mounted, so I'm serious I try to avoid mistakes. So I really be careful of drawing this something like that. So, but I also want to keep the freedom. So because I want to be free also. So let me just, we have several ways doing that. Tracing is one. Then after that, you try to copy in front of it. Then later paint from memory. And after all, you create your own template or your own composition. Okay. So another thing is like I want to use cool ink today. Let me just use my blue ink. This is a nice ink. So I use the red whisker landscape brush for the rocks and the trees. In this case, I start from the darkest. I use a little bit water because this is so concentrated. You cannot do it without water. This is concentration. Maybe not the darkest, but I think the stem of the pine is is a little darker than the leaves or needles. So all I need to do is make sure this host tree is right. So I do it very slowly. I did have some trace I got from the pencil drawing, so that gave me enough. I can use my fingernail if I want. So this is about, here is the starting point. So I do it with a tip concealed stroke. I know last time when we do this, some of you maybe over emphasized on the knobbed or knobbed characteristic of the pine. So you want to keep some fluency, not just making too much hesitation. You want to have some stop, but not just enough to give the characteristic of the pine, but not overdo it. However, you can see slow is one of the characteristic of this style. So I see some kind of S movement, very nice. So I basically draw one line, and then when I draw the other one, I'll get along with that. Make sure I don't deviate too much to make it too thin or too thick. Okay. Okay, here's the root. I think many of you have the difficulty of doing that. Let me enlarge the original. I think we should. This is the original copy, not authentic still. But you can see the host tree has more details than the guest tree, right? I think I'm making a little bit too low. So if I extend it too much, it will be further lower. So I don't have much room to extend that. Let me just keep it into like a very simple. I won't have this many details as the sample here. So just a few holes, 2 instead of 4. All right, that's one. And let's just do the root first. So we want to lost this. Okay, then I will just add a little. We can do the wash on the texture bark later, I think. So we want to use a little bit lighter. I start to light a little bit. So this one, I will make it thinner too. At this point, I want to consider the relationship. So this one is a little higher, definitely a lot lower to start with. It's about there. So that's my root. This one almost like the same angle. So let me make it shorter and then go up. Okay. Go down. Okay. I think I'm making a little thicker. It's kind of hard just to make sure the guest is thinner than the host, you know. So you will learn from my mistake also. So let's correct this part, just making a stem right there. So this arm is a little bit taller than this one. Shorter, I mean, higher in two-dimensional world. This one goes right across this, so that indicates this one is in the front of this one. And let me finish this first. The head is a little bit linked to the right, then left. That's a Tai Chi movement, you know. Tai Chi always does that. When you go left, you turn right first. That's preparation. My ink is getting too dry. And then this one. Oops, I think I lowered it. I divided it into two, that's okay. Okay, as long as you got the, you don't copy word to word. I mean, stroke to stroke. You need to get the idea, or concentrate on your own painting when you're actually doing this. Slow but controlled stroke, very solid, very certain. That's the style of Shagui, where one stroke, one shot, not much repeat actually, no repeat, just one stroke, but you can go slow. That's two trees, and then the third tree is a crossing tree behind. That's a different tree, so the branch is a little different. It's right here with a almost 90-degree turn and another sharp turn. Very unprofessional, or what Professor Cahill would think this is an indication of a copy instead of the original. But that's a style of Xiagui in people's mind, I think. Impression. That's the angular, Mayan and Xiagui's angular trees. Okay, I have to go back to this adaptation because this copy is more like horizontal than the original. So we have to adapt to this shi, this tendency. And the willow tree also does this, okay. And then we do this fourth tree, that's the lean one. It's shorter, like a father, mother, and a child kind of. And this okay, there is another separated tree. So if we call this a group with a straight and linked and host and guest, this one is separate to kind of balance the composition. So this one is on this side, a little far from the first four. So this is the fifth, but they need to talk to each other. So this tree has a arm kind of, let me see, this tall one actually has a long branches almost there. And then many twigs. Okay, so this one is a little lighter also. Right here. With one branch kind of echo. And then one branch longer to the left, to the right, with a what we call this horn kind of. Each stroke of this branch should have a ending, very clear ending, not just you know, like a needle. It has a dot, so very certain with each stroke, with each branch or twig. It's like a horn, deer horn branches. Okay, that's my trees. Now I'm going to go for the river, the shore. So first of all, I draw this ground. This rock goes up here. And just use the side of the brush. First of all, you outline the edge of the, let's say, the grass ground. And then you use the side. We call this X cut. X cut. Remember that? X cut. And then water. We will do that with a lighter ink. Oh, actually, this is quite dark. Let's see. These horizontal lines indicate the river. Yeah, okay. And here is a little bit tricky. I want to make sure I got that correct. There's a different plan. This is a horizontal. So I want to get all the horizontal line kind of leveled. And then the cliff, you can see a little bit cliff there. This is almost like a slope. You can walk in there. Entrance. This is called entrance. This is the slope. Okay. And here is the trail. Side brush stroke should be lighter. Let me just use you need to scratch just a scrap paper to test it, and use a paper towel if you like to dry the brush, and then add some water, get it dry. Notice there's a white line, we call it water line. This is the same thing like in Gombe when you do some shading on leaves or on plant, they also leave a little white this makes it look more decorative, also very clear. You know, between the plants, there's a white line between the contour and then the side, this cliff. Okay. Now I'm going to do this rock. It's a little bit at the center, I think, maybe right here. Right here. Yeah. At the center of the fan. That's the point. And there are two sections. This is another. This one goes behind. This one just could be a little cut in there. So it's a little bit overlapping. This goes behind. Another thing you could do is to blot. So the light could be generated by blotting. A prince of Qing Dynasty is Puru. He does this very well. He's in the northern school of X-cut. But he always blot with let me get a piece of paper here. Blotting is very useful. This little division lines first I draw. If you look at the original, you can see better. Maybe okay. And now instead of going up, we're going down here. Going down. Okay, and just some X cut between the two planes, indicate the cliff. And I don't do the water yet. Okay, and then this blot I will do it with wash first because it's further away. This island. Like a and you can blot and then add a little piece of rock. Now I'm going to do this pine tree. Oh, I think it won't, since I got this right ink, I just draw this grass line and the blot, make it lighter. As I made it a little bit, but that's okay. Don't have to be very, I try to keep that white line. Too dark. Got too much ink in the bottom. If you use unsized paper, you should do better with this. You can use one clean brush, one ink brush, so you can get this very easily. Okay, let's see how you do it. You just draw some ink along the dark side on the edge, and then you use a damp, clean brush to blend it. Okay, but this paper is not like that. It's a size, unsized, semi-sized, I would say. So I have to do it wet and dry. You know, you can wet it if you want to have soft edges, just like you know, if you want to blend into the mist, you can get some water there first, then do it on top. I will do that on distant mountain as well. I'll try to stay within the boundary. Okay. And I like to draw the rock here with a little contour. You can break ink, you know, when it's still damp. You can draw it into it. You can kind of blend in a little bit. But you don't want to smear. That's not the Shagui style. Maybe shithouse style. Just some X-cut suggesting of the texture. And then I'll draw this boat packed of just a return boat. This one is draw like we did earlier, the large one. We did the water. This is a rack with the net or whatever tools. And then we draw some kind of shelter, the farther side of the boat, and a little ankle, something like that. So that's all. It's a suggestive, you know. And I will do the water later. So I can't wait to do this tree. I will use a little lighter ink than the trunk or the. But still, you know, the main tree is darker than the guest tree. So instead of draw one by one, I just use a larger brush with larger, so dull instead of sharp needles. This is let me see the original first. Okay. This is on silk. See this? This is a quite contemporary copy, maybe. Not like a Southern Song at all. Almost like a Nanjing School Masters. So you kind of make very dense dots along the branch, I think. You could you can just use dots instead of this needles, I think. That's Mayan distant tree, but in this case, it just applied here without using needles. So this is landscape. We don't have to do the details. So horizontal, you present the branch and then some dots on top of that. That's very Southern Song style. Tree there. And you can see the beginning, like a nail head stroke for the branches, like that. Okay. Gesture of the branch is very interesting. So you need to vary the length of the arms. So this in the front is darker than the one behind. You can see that, I think. See, this one is basically lighter. You can have a little more detail on the front too. All right, so I add water, dilute the ink again. You can test on piece of paper, just make sure. It might have some dark to start with, but getting lighter too. That's okay, I can see that. So there's some in the middle dark, that's okay. So then we add some light behind that, you see? That gives depth on its own, right? So there's some just in the air. Oh, I think that's the birds. I'm sorry. If I didn't read it carefully, I'll just do some loose dots. And Professor James Cahill will say, oh, the detached foliages, they're fake. Okay, let me fix that. So we connect them. So lots of mistakes are misreading of the originals. You think they're foliages, actually they're birds landing, returning home as the fisherman in the sunset. So very clearly here, the two layers overlapping. One is lighter. You can also vary the shape. I've seen on the clear and the clear and the remote view painting. One of the tree could be horizontal noodles instead of the vertical one. So they're clearly separate from each other. You can do that also. But you should have some ambiguity there. The third tree, actually, we don't really need to see any of the details, just add more water and then just blobs of and so this tree here is the willow tree. You do it in a group of 4, maybe 3 or 4. Oh, you don't see here. The dark ones are the branches. They're then the vertical dots are added, like a willow, weeping willows, right? Okay. Okay. Oh, there's one more tree on this, behind this one. So we just draw this again. It's a little thinner. This is a pine tree, also I believe, because the shape of the form of the crown is flat. See how I blotted to make it lighter? Because I can use plenty of water to start with, so I don't have to reload. Before it gets smeared, there's a time before it gets smeared, I blot it. Okay. This front tree, that means this one in the front is the confused dots. We call it small confused dots. Or you may call it mouse footprint or something like that. Doesn't matter, just the dots. Okay, let me show you the whole picture. Oops, got it wrong. Zoom out. Yeah. So in southern zone, these leaves are usually lighter than the tree branches. So I just plotted it lighter. That's how it is. Easy it is, right? So you should learn this. This is very important way to get light, not on the palette, but right on the paper. So I plot it. See how light it is? Too light. But this is in the distance. Okay. Whoops, I got a little extra dots there. I think I got some stains on my paper. I have to figure that out. All right, let's do this distant mountain to finish. So I'll start from light, and you can use a brush with lots of water, like this mix hair combination brush or soft brush if you like. So I'll load the brush with very, very light, almost clear water, and then with a little bit diluted light ink. So make sure this is, you can start from somewhere you're not worried if you make any mistake. Then be careful with the dark. So I'll just do an inner side of this. Let me show you the original. Okay, let me enlarge this. Okay, that's the part I'm working on. So I'll start from this distant, like a horizon. Just pour to the right. Some remember the stroke, the river bank thing, and then on the other side, I instead of I turned up. I could do this, but it's kind of awkward. I just keep the same position, but just like pouring inward, like that. This is a bad to have, if you have a dark near the margin, we're supposed to, we can soften that with water. You can add water at the beginning, so then you have a soft, start. But the trade-off is losing the kind of stroke. So we'll just do this quickly, and then add water as you go. It becomes lighter, but I still have darker ink on the top. I know. So at the when the time is right, I just draw this misty horizon like that, and I can add some dark a little later. There's mist between the horizon and the peak, right? This peak actually is pretty low, not very large. so to speak. So we use a small brush to make sure I don't oversize. So I use a dry light gray to start with this little triangular rock. It's white. And you can see I got some wet there. It's okay. So this is the white. And then I use, there's outline, but you don't see after wash. Like we did earlier, you draw this line of mountain just like you did with water. You cannot put, just glide, like take off like that. And then you use a softer brush to give it a shade. It's pretty dry to begin with, actually, and then you can water it. This is X cut, But in the distance, you shouldn't see much texture, so I just blend it to create some misty feel. Dry and wet is also okay, just paint into the wet under it, it's okay. And just fill in all the space here. I have little white in there, it's okay. And I can have, for the distance, I can have a gradation on the load, so just, but further lighten the tone. So I have, and also narrow. You see it's hard to stay under it, I think. And you can blend it. With a very, very, very light color. We call it the ink colors. They're not just the black. Actually, this painting has you can see the orange color above it. It's a sunset, right? Yeah. Okay, now I will wait it dry a little bit to do the trees. Some clear, some darker riverbank. Okay, now let me see what we do. Okay, so a little bit more detail with the house and the figure. So I will use a little detail brush. You can use the small brush, the small whistle brush, or Gombi liner. Let me see. I just use basic whistle brush. Okay. What I need to do is the roof, suggesting the home of this fisherman. Just the top of the roof. There's a window or something. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, it could be some kind of window, a door, whatever. Just a suggestion. Just the top of that. And I have no room for a second roof there under. Okay, I have to do it to squeeze in there. Something like that. Color it. blotting paper, very useful. Okay. To fill in the black. Oops, I think it should be left white. Yes, I messed it up. Okay. What I'm going to do is this this dots. No idea. So some mask dots. Actually, there are not much mask dots in Southern Song paintings as the later period, I think. So just a few, very tiny ones, very little ones, suggesting some kind of vegetation. Okay, I'm going to make the figure just standing on the on here, so I can connect that little dots with his pool. So it will be something like a net or his fish or whatever. So let me just do that. Do this pool here is from here, there, and he's holding it. And just, I think that's it. So that's how I fix things. I just make a. I'll send you the detailed picture later. So I connected that stand with his fishing pole. You can maybe there's some net or some fish on it or whatever. You could have some hanging fish, whatever. Okay, let's see. You can make up some darks now. When you do the near the finish, you need to yeah, mask dots. Just use this. Like I said, it's not very big in Southern Song Dynasty, so they just use tiny little, just to connect things, to accent, just like to separate these two plane. I add a few there. I missed something here. I think we'll just doing that. Just to separate planes or give some rhythm, some tighten some part. Fill in some blanks. Yeah, this instead of filling that white, I just add some dots, like that. And this is signature of the artist, not authentic, but they got imitation of this signature. Okay, so that's about it. And just see, have an overall look, see if I need to do anything. I want to make sure that the pine is patternized a little bit, not just chaotic. So they come in like a flat, but still you can see that group, the basic shape of the pine, right? That's a symbol. We need to consider, people, if people want to read, if it's pine or cypress or whatever, they can recognize that. Okay, that's my. Oh, I forgot. There are some details. Before it dries, we need to add trees, wet into wet. right here, see the distant village. There's no house. You don't have to do the village. But, it's suggesting some oops, blotting. If it's too dark, blot it out. If it's too dark, blot it out. Because it's so smearing. But it's good. That creates some kind of misty, you know. But you know, it's too dry. Sometimes even worse. So what I can, it's good. So Shagui is a master of timing. Shagui is a master of timing. If you look at his long scroll, the clear distant view, you can see all the excellent timing, you know, just good time. He does everything wet into wet, wet and dry, or whatever, you know, alternating wet and dry, basically, just on time. He probably doesn't use the blotting too much. It will dry lighter as the watercolor. You know. So that's my distant ground, remote ground. You can let me see if there's any. Oh, there's one touch of a mountain there. I can use maybe a little bit color. I'm not sure. We should keep it monochrome. Just a little bit. Okay, that's it. My finished piece of, oh, the water. You see the water ripples? Sorry. Okay. Hello? Sorry, that's a junk call. Okay, I'm going to draw the water as we learned in the beginning of the class. Let me use this little whistle brush. So today's brush is a little small whistle brush or the leaf vein brush or the basic wolf brush, whatever you have. So this one is the, we can use the net method if you like. So just a little wave. keep it fine and thin and elegant, very light, very light. Net scarf, we call it. The rectangular or should be diamond shape, diamond. Okay, that's about it. And you can just use some right horizontal line for distance like that. I don't think we need to do any reflections. Just leave space for the imagination of the viewer. Okay. I'm going to sign it. We can say 仿下归, right? 仿 means to mimicking 下归. Because the original we use is also 仿, it's not authentic 下归. Attributed to 下归. I just add a little, maybe I forgot to add this shading on the, you can give a little bit suggestion of the tree barks, use light ink, and then some shading on the shady part for sure. You can leave some white. This is so it's a little darker on the top, and then near the root is kind of light. Okay. Leave a highlight. There's a tree bark. Anyway, and you can wash a little bit. Actually, you can paint something behind. That's better than wash. Don't wash. Just paint overlapping. You can put some dots. Just undefined and dots, overlapping dots. Instead of wash, if you need to fill in some white, you can use dots, any kind of shape. Fine. Okay, so and wash this. You don't want to distant to be too white. I think that's my distance. Fine. Okay. I like it. Yeah, I wish you enjoyed it. This is my self-made Shigechi span board. Okay, and let's just sign it. You can sign vertically against the border of the paper, or you can sign. Let me see. That's a good question. How to sign it? Let me take a look. Some samples here. Okay. This is a letter I got from my teacher. My flower and birds teacher. He sent me this just before I come to the States in 1987. He has a letter with this encouraging me to spread the culture of painting in the foreign countries. Anyway, so he sent me these paintings, as you can see, and I'm looking at how he signed it. It's something between the vertical and the this one. This one is definitely goes with the frame. You see the frame line. So that's the way it goes. So not straight like that, not to the last one of the frame. That something in between the frame. I think you should go along the frame. Is that beautiful? I haven't framed it, but this is easier to store. And this is how he did it. I learned from him in my class. I teach you how to do, how to cut it, and then mount it like this. I just put it on the back of this silicone paper, draw a pattern, and iron it together, and then transfer it onto a board like that. Here's another painting I want to share with you. This one has a different style of signature. This is a collaboration, joint hand painting with Sonia, my ex. She did the foreground tree in weeks, like the rock, on raw paper, unsized the paper. This one is done before I came to this country. So it's 30-some years old. And I did some river banks. You can see the different strokes. I think at that time, my level is beginning level. This is her work. You can see the more layers and the dry brush work, beautiful twin or wrinkle technique. And this tree starts from light to dark silver layers, dots, very rounded, very nice pepper dots. I probably did this tree, I think, I'm not sure. Yeah, this tree is my work, I think, and this background. So this is you can sign horizontally along the top line like that. So that's all possible. If I sign this way, or it's hard to sign this one vertical, maybe like that. This one would be, because landscape has more kind of sense of gravity or horizon. So it's probably I just write like that. Okay, I'm going to write that. The title is 暮色渔村 sunset and fishing village. Mimic 下跪. Oh, it's kind of hard to write.仿下龟 mimic 下龟 暮色渔村 fishing village. I just write 2020 special year. And my name. Okay, and seal. So all the characters radiate towards the center of the thing. That's how it works. I mean, if you write along the edge, you should go like a curve this way. That's, I think, a natural way of doing this. That's it. Instead of writing vertically or this way vertically. Or you can write here. If you write here, I think that's a possibility. But because of this horizon here, it's really kind of hard to read. You have to turn your head to the side, I think. So I hope you enjoyed this class. And let me know if you have any questions in the, I didn't check my comment. Let's see. Oh, I got so many questions here. Oh, okay. Victoria is taking care of them. Okay. Yeah. I like to take some questions if you, or show some work if you have. And let me open discussion. Whoops, I can't find it. Where's my, okay. Allow participants to unmute. So now you can unmute yourself if you like.
Henry?
Yes.
It's Susie. Hi. Can I use the Stonebridge paper for the fan painting?
Definitely, Stonebridge or semi-size is best. Yeah, you can use size or semi-size because that original is on silk, and the copy was on pre-mounted fan, so it's semi-size. Yeah, I mounted it so it's considered like semi-size. You're not going to penetrate. And you can see if I blot, it will easily take out the pens. So it's and I do make some smearing if I need to wet into wet. Yeah. So semi-size or size. You can also use raw paper if you like the challenge of doing that. Yeah.
Henry, what type of board did you mount it to?
Oh, this is it's not a board. It's honey. I don't know what this paper is. It's like drawing paper, I guess.
Like
Or
what kind of paper?
drawing paper. I think I got from art supply stores. They have this kind of maybe it's called construction paper. I'm not sure. It's about that kind of. You can see it's not heavy. I can roll it. You see, it's not a board. Just color paper. Just go to some. I got from Blake's, I believe, many years ago. This is like 30 years old. So I have no idea what exactly.
Paper will run, won't it? Won't construction paper fade or run if it gets wet?
It doesn't matter because we got the silicone in between the rice paper and you don't want to do this like I did. You can paint on the on this paper, okay, and then you after you paint it, you put it on the back of the silicone paper and draw this template. I think you can still see my drawing here. If you can look at, this is my pencil line. I just cut it with actually I use a roller blader. I just ran. Then you mount it. You mount it onto the silicone. You can also put the silicone first on this board, on this mat. If you like it, you can use mat. And then you put the painting, release that paper, put the painting on, and then use the release, cover the painting, and iron it again. Yeah, that's how I do it. Don't use, because this translucency, I do like a little tan of that, seeing through. Yeah, I won't use like a very dark colors, gray or greens. You can use a tan color like this. It's perfect. I'm not sure. This color is called honeysuck. That's the name of this color. Yeah.
And Henry,
Yeah.
I think that paper may be what's called Casson Tient. It comes in all different colors. It's an art paper that's acid-free. That's what it looks like.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it is expensive paper in art store. I don't know what thank you for telling me. They just have all the colors, pretty colors. I thought I think we used it for some kind of product photography. Yeah.
Can you repeat what she said or write it? What the woman just said. And
It's called
Casson.
Casson, C-A-N-S-O-N.
C-A-N-S-S-O-N. Can you type it in the chat, maybe?
Yeah, I'll try to do that.
Okay, thank you. So she will type in the chat. Thank you, Cassie.
Can you use watercolor paper as mounting paper?
Definitely, you can. You can use watercolor for mounting.
Either, well, the 90-pound or the one.
Doesn't matter. You can use any with thickness.
Any of them.
Yeah, any of them. Yeah, that's what I would do. Sometimes I start working on the rice paper, and then I mount it on rice paper and I keep working on it. It's a very good, yeah, combination of both Western and East. Yeah.
Henry, you know the pre-mounted fans that you showed us?
Yeah.
That you sell. All right. I did a painting on one and it smears over the
yeah, it does smears because it's not sized. It's supposed to be that like a shikishi, it will smear. Yeah. But this one I self-made. I think it's also smear if it's wet into wet, but it's okay when I do this lining. I used plenty. I mean, it's like a full load of ink. I just drop on it. Before I blot, it will bleed. It kind of slow, but it will bleed because the paper is not completely sized. But there's a delay in time before it gets smeared, so I can blot it.
Oh, okay.
I showed you what to do. You tried blotting method on the fans you bought. That's why I try to teach you the blotting.
I think that was great. Another thing, I was wondering if I could cut out that fan and mount it to another sheet of the same paper with a fan, but just that way I would cut off the part that's smeared.
That's up to you. You have to to figure out. It's not a common way doing things, but if it's fixed, it works for you, it's fine.
I may try it and see.
Okay. Yeah. Why not?
I was having problems with the distant mountains. You have a hard edge on top and a nice smooth graded
if you use size the paper, it's easier. You can use two brush technique. You can use one ink brush and one clear water. I think on this kind of semi-sized paper, you might want to start with light. Okay, let's do this here. I just do it. Can you see my?
Yes.
You have to mute yourself. Pin my video. Okay, I will keep the microphone. Unmute. So you can keep asking questions. Okay. So let me put this on the white so you can see my work. Okay, so on the distant mountain, right? You can start with just the clear water. Maybe you can draw just I draw a big one. Okay, and then you start the second. Just cover a little bit on top. That's probably already enough. But if not enough, you can use very dry brush to give it. Let me see. Just use this same brush. So I dry the brush. I use a little darker ink, but not very dark. I want to show you, maybe I can just use dark to show you the effect. And then I kind of scramble on the wet. You know, you can change the hue a little bit without a bleed. You know, you can do that. You can scramble, just like barely touch it. You can, yeah, it has to be dry, just like that. Is that
Thank you.
yeah, okay? That answer your question? Yeah. You don't
Yeah.
have to do the outline first. You can add the outline after on certain kind of paper. On Gombi paper, the size the paper, you can blend the line into a shape easily, but not on the unsized paper.
Henry,
Yeah.
here's the sample of the painting I did. You can see the smearing there, the bleeding at the bottom. See?
Let me see what. Oh, okay. Oh, this is what you got. Let me pin your video so I can see. Okay, I see. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, if it is smeared outside the, yeah, that's what happened with mine. You can see I have a little bit there also. Okay, yeah, I have a little bit accident there on the corner of my pen. Let me see. Can you see it? Anyway,
Yeah.
it's here. I think, yeah, that will work if you cut it off, or you can if you could cut a piece of paper, like you know, you can. Here's the thing, you know, on this paper I copied that fan face you did, right? I have the same idea, so you can make a margin, just cover up, right? If you use some kind of solid, you can cut a window off, and then what I do is I mount a piece of colored mulberry or something, colored mulberry paper, and I draw this fan face. You can, I use this as a tracing paper. So I got a template of that exactly paper you use. All right.
Okay, that's very good.
Yeah. You see what I mean? I just draw this. This is the paper you use, right? I just draw this with a marker. I can see it. If you know, if you are here, you can see it. So I draw this, so I can use this as a mat, right? I'll mount the silicone on this side, and then I cut it off. I cut off the window. I put on that. I iron it. That will create a new mat. That solve your problem?
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Any other questions about the class?
Question.
Yeah.
Do you ever do like Spanish moss on the trees? I know that some of the trees, one of them looked like it had vines.
Yeah. Okay. This one, right? Look at this one. Yeah. It has some kind of vine. Yeah. You can certainly draw this. Let me just add that. That's a good idea. So we.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we can just draw some line along the tree trunk and then just hang there. Can you see?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, just, and like whatever, it could be wisteria, it could be Spanish, and I can add some line. It's like a flow, blow by the wind. This one is a windy landscape. You know, I was working on this one without having the border, but this was a fan face painting, right? So that's what I'm thinking. I try to frame, to trim it into a fan face shape. And maybe you guys can help me. How do I do that? So I I made that template, I enlarge it like that, so you can see my pencil drawing. So this is what I do. I already mounted, right? So I put this on the back. I can create a template maybe on this side with a kind of copy paper, like carbon paper.
Right.
And then I just cut it off. So later in the class, I will show you what I did. So now it's a rectangular painting. I try to make it into a giant fan face. That's my template. I already mounted first. So all I need to do is cut it off, like just like that. Maybe I just cut it off together with this template. I can see it in front of you. Do you want to see how it works?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, now I framed it like I got a signature. I have to make sure it's inside of the frame. It looks good. Looks good. Now I have this scissors. So I need to tape it and make sure it's not moved. So this class is a craft class. A lot of craft here, huh? Okay, I just need a few places, I think. Let me just put that. It's enough, I think. Okay, here we go. The scissors. All right, can you see it?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, just stand. Let's have a go. You know, if I frame it, they would mat it somehow. So this line is just I changed the shape a little bit into a. You can see I go away from that. I just want to have more sky. So just be creative. You know, you can create your own. I don't find any information online, like how you cut the folding fan. There's no way of doing this kind of fan.
Right.
So, yeah, we have to. If you have better ways, just tell me, and I share with us. Oh, I'm changing my shape. Also, I think I'm not making the same kind of size. Let me see. At least I got all the painting under it. We'll see how it look like.
You can always go around it again.
Yeah, I can make it smaller. So that's why I don't worry about it. I make it big.
You're doing great.
Okay, see?
Yeah.
Okay, let me throw the away. So the template is here. So that's I can recycle this template, right? It's very
Right.
useful. Yeah. I just built based on this. Just based on this. This is my giant fan here. Look.
I think it's gonna be nice when you finish.
Look. Yeah. Right. Is that nice?
Very nice. Very nice.
Can you see it?
I can see it. Yeah, it's very, very good. I like it.
All right, let's see. That's a giant fan. Oh, I got the sun there. A spot. I don't know what's that. Moon. That's a
Well, you said it was
UFO.
a sunset.
UFO.
I don't know. A bird?
doesn't matter. I won't really worry about it. It could be a balloon, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. You can see the water now, right? Yeah.
I
The
can see
water was.
everything. It looks nice.
Thank you.
Really nice.
Yeah, I'll send you a new picture. This picture was sent you earlier, just before the class, for you to as reference. And so now I have this fan shape finished. I'm not sure if it's, oh, actually, you know, I have some extra margin. This is not painted. You can see the silicone here, so I have to cut that off for sure. I just straighten this line. This is not, it's outside the paper, you know. I'm seeing this backing paper here. I mean silicone paper. So that's a nice shape. I like that. The kind of the fan is actually handmade. It could be any shape. I have different shapes of fan. Yeah, I see this line is straight. That's nice. It actually balanced pretty well. That's good.
Looks very nice.
Mhm.
What type of paper is the painting on?
This painting is done on mulberry #1, which is
Okay.
the same kind of paper like this. Before it mounted, it's translucent like that. See how translucent it is?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and mounted on silicone paper. I haven't transferred it. I can transfer it to the art paper. That was the name. What's the name of the paper again, Cassie? Oh, you cannot type, huh? The cut. Anyway, email me or Mastro. Oh, no, what's the paper? Okay, so the color paper you can use for backing, or you can use any kind of you can use rice paper, but it's better to be, you know, have permanent support like a acid-free museum quality mat or board maybe. Okay, I used the cheap, not cheap, but you know, the convenient ink cake, which has a cool tone also. It works pretty well with this kind of paper. So, but you can see it's like overnight ink. The ancient masters has rule against that, but they don't like the pastel look. But our, you know, aesthetics has changed. I like that. I like the body, you know, like the roughness of this kind of ink. I use this kind of ink, and it gives more control. I can control the amount of ink in my brush better. With the liquid ink, it's harder to control. So I just use very sparse, very little ink on the background, almost invisible, like this water wash. But after mounting, it will show. So you should have some experience with mounting at least, so you know your painting look like when it's mounted. Almost the same as it's still wet, you know, as if it's still wet. So it will become lighter, but after mounting, it will be revitalized. The color vibrancy will come back, and the color and the ink will be stronger. So be aware of that after mounting.
Henry,
Yeah.
some of us wanted to know how to write the artist's name. What's Chagoué?
Oh, Shagui. Okay.
Yeah, can you do that? Demonstrate,
Okay.
please, sir.
Good. Sha means summer. Maybe Victoria will teach you how to write that.
Well, that's part of my name, so that I know how to write. Charlene.
Yeah, you have Xialian, 是吧? Yeah, that's your name. You should teach them how to write this correctly. Maybe me. 夏 means summer. 桂 I think there are two parts like that. Sometimes in fast writing, you will see one vertical line, but if you write print, it's two parts. So if this, I think the signature style is like it could be more circular. 夏归 and you know I can go from this side instead of because it start. Yeah, you can do this side also. I think depends on which the last character, which way is convenient. The last stroke of the last character. I think I need to check how exactly he signed, but we don't want to really learn his signature. So you can put a word 仿 means mimic. 仿 means to copy, but not exactly copy. 模 would be to transfer, to copy. Yeah. 模仿. So this is mimic. 仿下归 仿下归 and then your name and signature. I wrote the year just like that, 2020, and then year, and then your signature. Okay.
Thank you very much, Henry. That's great. So you don't have to write anything but the 2020 year. You don't have to write.
Oh, I write the word year. Year is here. I think you learned year in the calligraphy class.
Yes, we did. We did.
Okay, yeah, you can write the year. We used to do that like just 20. I think you have to write it double. It's kind of hard to write. There's another way, but my friend in China says you should not mix them. Sometimes I vary the two zero. I use this character for zero.
Yeah, I like the character for zero.
Okay, then you can write. You have to write character like that.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's prettier.
Okay. Yeah, Ling. So that character is zero. The zero is like this. Okay. There's a rain radical on top.
Uh-huh.
And then the Ling means older, too older. It's just for the sun. Ling. This lower part is it's almost like today Jing, but with one dot. You know, if without the dot, it's today Jing. Ling, yeah. So the rain, you can write faster. It will become like that. The rain radical, just like that, right? And then the ren, the people, and then this longer, it represents everything under the ren, the people. Yeah, that's zero. So you can write 2020 year. Yeah, I like this one better too. This zero is kind of hard to write. Okay.
Henry, maybe Victoria can teach us how to write the title of this painting. What is it called? Clear and remote.
Oh yeah. That painting is the long scroll. You're talking about the long scroll?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is kind of hard. It has lots of strokes for the stream.
Oh, okay.
Mountain, you have learned mountain. And clear. Clear and remote. That's a lot of strokes. Yeah, that's streams and then mountain, clear and remote. That's the Chinese title. You read from right to left. Yeah. Okay.
Now that's nice.
Thank you. My father teach me how to remember this in a verse, a children's song kind of. He said he learned from his father, my grandfather. Let me tell you. You can just you don't have to understand, but it's just like a little sound, you know. It says three drops of water, 3点水, 撇一撇, one slant, 咕叽咕叽呱. I don't know what that means. 咕叽咕叽呱. That's this yeah, it's like 咕叽咕叽呱. And then bottom is a 大. 咕叽咕叽呱. Bottom is a 大. 大 means big. So 3点水撇一撇. Oh, three sparrows standing there. 3 sparrows, he said. One branch, 3 sparrows. 咕叽咕叽呱. That's how I remember. 咕叽咕叽呱. That's 咕叽咕叽呱. It's like
I like that.
and then a big, or in Chinese, just like a song. 3点水撇一撇, 3个麻雀歇一歇, 咕叽咕叽呱, 下面一个大.
Okay. I like that word. I do.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, that's how my father remembered it and then passed it to me. That's how.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's very cute. It's pretty. It's a beautiful.
Yeah, that's stream.
That stands for stream.
Stream, yeah.
Stream mountain, clear remote.
Clear, pure or clear, yeah, remote. Clear or pure, yeah, the same word. Depends on the translator.
If you wrote it sideways, would it be stream at the right, then mountain to the left, and then?
Okay, yeah, you can write traditionally. Even we write sideways, you can go this way, right? But I did it this way, so normally, yeah, you can do either way these days. So I would write the stream, and then mountain, and then the clear, and then remote.
Oh, okay. So from left to right.
Yeah, you see how I curve the word. So the verticals goes with the frame of the fan.
I like that. Can you take a picture of that and send it to us?
Yeah, I will do that.
That would be good, because
Okay.
I like that. I thank you so much.
You're welcome. And this should be a supplementary to the calligraphy class.
Yes, it should.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll send you. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Your homework is to make a fan painting of either samples.
Okay.
Or the round or the round or this one. This one. So I think the round one is in Boston Museum. Is anybody in that area? You might be have chance to look at that. It's not unusual. Yeah, it's in Boston Museum, this painting. And this painting is probably in China or Taiwan, I forgot. Yeah. But this one is more authentic, but I'm not sure if I if I just look at the color, it has indigo and a lot of tea color in it. It looks like someone tried to make it look old with tea and overdone. That's kind of impression. So after all, authenticity is not it doesn't matter with us, and we can make maybe 1,000 years from now, this painting will be treated like authentic.
I think so. Listen, you're wonderful. You are you are tremendous. You're wonderful.
That's my goal of life. I try to make it a museum piece.
You will.
Into your
I
home.
imagine sooner than you think.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's do that. Thank you.